Okay, let's talk about a little bit of an issue. This machine is 8 years old. This started happening about a week ago. Water is filling up the soap dispenser. So water is pouring on top of this and it's filling it up. So, there's a couple things that can cause that to happen, right? So, after the soap kind of empties itself out, water is basically filling on top of the soap. Okay, so after maybe a week's worth of laundry, you will have 0 soap in here and 100% water will be inside this bin. So your little indicator light right here that shows you what your detergent level is at, that will always be full. You'll never see it into the low or empty because there's a float in here that rises with the level of the fluid. And then you have this sensor right here. It's a magnetic sensor that goes into this hole and measures, one, whether or not this particular bin is in here, and also what the level of the detergent is inside of this bin. Now, when the machine is turned on and you push this drawer in, the machine will make a beeping sound like a chime. And that's basically, indicating that it has detected the fact that you have your soap dispenser caddy installed. If you don't have this installed, it will know that it's not there, and it will actually put water into this area, assuming that you have powder detergent in here. It'll actually put water over this area to, run that powder detergent into your bin. I made this little plastic cover just to stick over here temporarily to keep water from flowing into my soap bin. That's a temporary fix that you can roll with. So how does that happen? Okay. One, if this particular sensor is not working or it's bad, which is pretty rare for that to happen, it's extremely rare. But if you push your bin into the machine and you don't hear a chime, then this is bad, okay? That's an easy one. You have a mechanical arm right here with a motor, okay? So the motor sits right here. If the motor fails, which is also pretty rare, but it can fail, you can run a quick cycle, like a quick wash cycle, and you can see, is this motor actuating or not? Is it disconnected? Are these arms, this arm right here, disconnected here or on the other side? I took the liberty of labeling the water ports. So there's water ports, position here 1, 2, 3, and 4, which corresponds to the Roman numerals 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. So if you have the soap bin installed, water should never flow into position 2. So this actuator right here should never land on position 2. If it is landing on position 2, it means this sensor is malfunctioning, okay? That's what it means. It should fill on position 1, rinse on position 1, and position 3 is your bleach tray, and position 4 is your fabric softener. So as it goes through a cycle, it will put your bleach in. Then it will, wash and then rinse, and then it will add your fabric softener. Then it'll go back to 3 and back to 4 to make sure that it's all clear in here, that there's no soap or anything left in these caddies. And it finishes off on 3. And that's where it stops. Okay, so what's the problem with my unit after 8 years? Motor's good, arm is good, sensor's good, everything's good. Why is my soap caddy all of a sudden filling with water? Well, this is a diverter, okay? So there's a device inside that shoots water into different channels. There's 4 channels, and those channels kind of go, this is a distribution plate that's glued together right here on top. Water flows inside of that distribution plate to the different slots, and that has channels, right? So what's happening is it's flowing into one, but the channels the seals are bad, or they're cracked, or they're open, and it's flowing into channel 2, or it's flowing from 3 to 2, or from 4 to 2. So it's crossing over the channels in the distribution block, and it's putting water where it shouldn't be putting water. And unfortunately, there's really no way to fix that. In theory, yeah, there's just really no way to fix it. I mean, you could take this distribution plate off. There's holes on the backside where the water flows through, and you could seal up all the holes on number 2, but then you would never be able to put powder into your machine. So that's just, right? If you're tight on budget and you're like, well, I never use powder anyway, just pop this distribution plate off, fill the holes, just block them all off with glue or epoxy or something like that on number 2. And then you'll never actually end up getting any water here. Or you can put one of these little plates like I did. It's just a little plastic plate that I just made. I just cut it out with a pair of scissors and stuck it on top, right? So this was from like a little fruit basket or something that from the grocery store that some fruit came in. Easy peasy. Now, here's the new unit. I'll put a link in the description to buy this on Amazon. It's about $200, Whirlpool part. You can see here's kind of the glue or the sealant that they use here to glue the distribution plate onto the water channels. You can take the top off. This whole top piece comes off and allows you to clean everything, and that's just little snap clips here, right? But the distribution plate itself is glued, so you can't service it. You can't really repair it. If you try to, you'll end up destroying it. But you can see, you know, there's the back side of the soap dispenser bin right there. That's the back side of the soap dispenser bin, the very, very back. Okay. And I took the liberty of labeling those Roman numerals for the video so you can see them a little bit easier. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this comes with the soap dispenser motor. So this is a soap pump that actually pumps soap out of your blue bin in when the water's filling the machine. It also comes with the caddy as well. It just doesn't come with the front faceplate. So the front faceplate, it just pretty easily pops off your old unit, and you can just pop it on here. So you get a whole new unit here, which is pretty nice. But yeah, you have to replace it. So there is a hose that attaches here. That's where the water flows into the machine. There's a clip that you can just use your fingers to take it off and pop this hose off. So I'll show you how we remove this. So I'm going to take the old caddy out and we'll stick it down here. Right underneath here, you know, there's 2 screws, a T20 Torx, one here and one here, right there. And you have one here. And you have one here, right here, okay? And then you have to undo this hose right here. So this one pops off, okay? Undo your wires, take pictures. On the back side, you can see there's red and there's blue, red on top, blue on bottom. Take these 2 clips off. Unhook this one from right here. This sensor right here twists 90 degrees, pops straight out, okay? That's that black one there. And then, you know, when you pull this thing back a little bit, you can move it to the side, and then that black hose that's down here, that sits on here, that you can take off pretty easily. Basically what I do is I put one hand down through here, and I put one hand in through here, and you can do that very easily. You don't have to take the front of the machine apart. You can take this whole piece out really, really quick and replace it with a new one. Now, when you do replace this, it doesn't come with this motor right here. This motor has 2 screws on it. You disconnect the arm right here. This thing just pops off really easy. You can use a screwdriver or panel popper to pop this guy right here straight off. 2 screws that hold it on. You'll put this motor onto the new unit right here. It goes right here. 2 screw holes in the little thing there. Boom. So pretty easy. We'll get started. Okay, so you can see there's a little kind of tab here, and that tab goes into this hole right here. Okay, so you slide it back a little bit and then over, you push it over this way, and then you can see your black hose right here down in there, and you can see that you can stick one hand in right through here. Okay, so that's the hand that you use to pull the hose off, and you use your left hand to pinch these 2 guys and move this clip right here. Okay, so this is the new part right here. This is a revised part. I think this may have been revised 2 or 3 times in 8 years, okay? One of the key differences that I can see immediately is that here we have a backflow preventer, okay? So this right here is a backflow preventer. This will allow the soap to only flow one way into here, and not any water back in, right? So that's a revision. There's probably revisions on the motors, more than likely. You can see there's no backflow preventer on this hose right here. You know, there may also be some revisions to the way that they constructed the distribution plate inside, the materials, the glue, like who knows, the tolerances, etc. Because like I said, this distribution plate has failed, and frankly, the distribution plate should never fail. It really shouldn't. Here's the motor. So we're gonna take this swing arm here and this motor, and we're gonna relocate it over to this unit here, and then we'll be ready to install the unit. Okay, so one more important thing to note when you replace this, okay? So this hose, the soap injection hose, it comes disconnected, right? There's two ports right here, two ports. The top one is for water, that is open. The bottom one is for your soap, and it's closed. That port is closed off, sealed off. So you have to get a 3/8 inch drill bit, and you have to drill that out and then deburr it, okay? I found out the hard way. I didn't even look. I hooked up the soap line, and the soap line burst off due to pressure because, you know, you can see the two openings back there. You've got the top and the bottom. Top is water, bottom is soap. That was completely sealed off. So that's either a manufacturing defect, okay? It's either a manufacturing defect that this wasn't even open, or somebody at the factory, when they were assembling this, they grabbed the wrong bin. Maybe, I don't know, but I had to drill it out, 3/8 inch. Okay, so I just ran a load, and we had water actually dripping out of the backside here. Quite a bit of water dripping out of the backside, and keep in mind this is a brand new unit, right? So I'm going to show you what we can do to seal this up, but still allow it to be serviceable. So if anybody from Whirlpool sees this, you know, you're going to have to put a little bit more engineering into your product. Okay, so here's the fluid diverter here. So the actuator, the motor arm, this motor arm right here, moves this fluid diverter into the 4 different channels, and you can see the 4 channels right there, okay? Port 1 is here and here. All these ports back here, and this is channel 1, Roman numeral 1. This is Roman numeral 2. This is if these are the holes here that fill the bin if you're using powder. So if your caddy is not detected by the sensor, then number 2 will actuate. This is 3 right here, 3, and this is number 4. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, clearly, you know, we saw, you know, I talked earlier about leaking on the backside. Okay, so leaking. Water was leaking out through here, kind of coming down, you know. So that means we're getting a little bit of backsplash in here. And how do we solve for that? Well, we use silicone grease. You can buy this at Home Depot or Lowe's. I'll put a link to this in the description to pick it up on Amazon as well. And you can see that we have the channel. There's a channel in here that goes all the way around the entire perimeter of the unit. We're going to fill that channel up. We're going to fill it up with a healthy dose of silicone grease, and that will essentially form a nice seal on the lip here. So the lip will be sealed so we won't have water spilling over, but it's still serviceable, right? So if you wanted to take it apart, you could still take it apart, right? If you were to use caulking or something like that, you wouldn't be able to take this apart again. It'd pretty much be sealed up. Okay, we finished applying the silicone grease. We have a nice channel. You know, we filled the channel with a decent amount of silicone grease. And we're just gonna basically pop the top back on. Any excess silicone grease that squeezes out, just wipe it up with a paper towel and you'll be good to go. Okay, so when you're doing any type of repair work like this, obviously don't put the unit back together, like don't put the covers on, the panels, until you've totally validated your work. I've had to remove this after installing this new unit. I've had to remove it 2 times. One time because I had to drill out the hole for the soap because it wasn't drilled out. Again, could have been a manufacturing defect, not really sure, but I had to drill that out so that I could attach the hose. And then I saw water, you know, dripping out of the backside here, so I had to take the whole unit out again, take the top distribution plate off, put the silicone grease all the way around to form that seal. Now I'm gonna run another load through the machine, and we'll see if everything comes out perfect without any issues whatsoever, and hopefully it does. Let's just check. I had to power cycle the machine, so we have to go ahead and reset everything. And we'll run an actual quick wash and see how it goes.
Is it too late?
And so it's filling up on the number 1. That's right here. So there's some jets that kind of run in this area, back in here and here. Last time it was leaking out of the backside. So let's take a look and see if it's leaking or not. I don't think that it is though. That would explain when I bought this machine 8 years ago. That would explain why when I took the rear panels off, way down at the very bottom of the machine, down there, I saw a whole bunch of like water, like mineral deposits and water drops and a little bit of corrosion down there. And I was like, what? How's that possible? Well, now we know that that's possible because the seal all the way 360 degrees around this dispenser bin leaks. It leaks until you have sufficient mineral buildup, calcium carbonate or lime scale buildup, which eventually will end up blocking the water, but it'll leak until that calcium buildup blocks it. So the silicone grease is number 1. Make sure you put that on before you install your new unit, otherwise you're gonna have water leaking for sure. So it's looking pretty good. I think we're, you know, we're totally good to go. Put links in the description if you need a new soap motor. Actually, the soap motor technically is sold with the whole dispenser unit. I don't think they sell that separately, but the water diverter motor, I'll put a link to that. I'll put a link to the sensor that's up here for your soap bin in case when you push your drawer in, you're not hearing that chime. Make sure that your signal sounds are on right here. Okay. And anyway, good luck.